Hello, and welcome back to the Macro Gamer channel. My name is Mark Cassingham, and today we're going back into our weekly numbers. This is going to be week 35 of the portfolio. This is as of today, March 23rd, 2025, Sunday. I was gone on Saturday, so I have to do this on Sunday, but it's still going to be fine. We're going to go right into it, as always. So we have our portfolio's net worth of $458.38. And this is as of today, March 23rd, 2025. So you have our pie chart of all our assets are allocated. We have our portfolio weekly data for week 35. This is from March 17th to March 23rd. We have no new cash flow this week. No new net cash flow this week. We have a money weighted rate of return of positive 0.86%. We have a market gain of $1.54, and we have no dividend earned this week. So you see we had a big spike up in the middle of the week, and then we kind of came down. But it was at least a turnaround. The past few weekly data have been negative. This is our portfolio monthly data for week 35. This is from February 24th, 2025 to March 23rd, 2025. We have net cash flow of $30.14. So let's just spike up on the chart right here. It's a $30 deposit on March 12th. We have a money weighted rate of return of negative 0.38% for the month. So down 0.38%. We have a market loss of $1.38. And we have dividend earned of 13 cents. So this is our monthly data for week 35. Then we have our quarterly data for week 35. This is from December 3rd, 2024 to March 23rd, 2025. We have a net cash flow of $123.44. So it's going to be 4 deposits. So you got one here, one here, one here, one here, each $30 deposit. You can see just the slope of this line here in February. This is by far one of our worst couple of weeks that we had in our portfolio's performance. A lot of volatility. We have 4 $30 deposits, so $120. The extra $3.44 is from cash and dividends. We have a money-weighted rate of return of 3.65%, positive 3.65%. We have a market gain of $17.44. And we have a dividend earned of 25 cents. So this is our quarterly data for week 35. Then we have our all-time data. So this is from the very beginning till today, going back to July 21st, where we started with 0. We had our first $100 deposit, and then every third week we had a $30 deposit. So you see all these stair steps. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 times 30 is 330, plus the initial $100 makes it 430. Says we have our net cash flow at $434.61. So the extra $4.61, just extra cash and dividends. We have a money weighted rate of return of positive 9.86%. So almost back at that 10% mark. Would love to get back to the 10% or higher, but again, this February right here, this is like the worst couple weeks right here in this portfolio. Very volatile. We have a market gain of $23.77, and we have dividend earns of $1.53. So this is our portfolio all-time data for week 35. Pardon me. Okay. Those are our charts. Now we get to our percentages, our numbers. So on the right, we have our target weighting. So at the top, we have gold at 30% with our GLD ETF. We have commodities at 20% with our USCI ETF. We have bonds at 15% with our GOVI ETF, which is a fairly new ETF. We switched from GOVT a few weeks ago. We have stocks at 15% with our RSP ETF. We have US dollar at 15% with UUP ETF. And we have Bitcoin at 5% with IBIT ETF. So these are our target allocations. Gold is still king. Been at 30% since the beginning. Has not changed. We'll see that in the charts as the best chart of all these assets. So gold here at the top for our weekly percentage for week 35. So this is from March 17th to March 23rd. So that time frame. So we have positive 1.18% for a market gain of $1.64 for gold. For commodities, we're up 1.53% for a market gain of $1.38. Bonds were up 0.58% for a market gain of 39 cents. Stocks were up 0.68% for a market gain of 46 cents. US dollar up 0.38% for a market gain of 26 cents. And Bitcoin down 0.92% for a market loss of 21 cents. So those are our weekly percentages for week 35. Then we have our monthly percentages for week 35. So that's going to be February 24th to March 23rd. We have gold up 2.97% for a market gain of $3.93. We have commodities up 0.06% for a market gain of 5 pennies. We have bonds up 1.14% for a market gain of 63 cents. And this is about as much probably bond data as we're going to get. Because as I said, this GOVI ETF is fairly new. We swapped it out for GOVT, so I won't have as much performance data. Stocks down 3.12% for a market loss of $2.08. That's a lot of that February volatility, or the end of February volatility, I should say. US dollar down 2.34% for a market loss of $1.82. Also a lot of market volatility. And Bitcoin down 10.38% for a market loss of $2.40. That's our monthly percentage data for week 35. That's from February 24th to March 23rd. And then we have our quarterly percentages for week 35. So this is from December 23rd to March 23rd, I believe. Double check. Yep. Oh, there we go. December 23rd to March 23rd. Okay. So quarterly percentages. So gold up 15.09% for a market gain of $16.61. That's hella good for gold. That's great for gold. Gold's doing great. Commodities up 7.38% for a market gain of $5.01. Not too bad. Not too bad. Bonds, again, we only have about a month or so worth of data, so we're not going to get the full picture in bonds, but we will look at the charts as always. So we'll see how GOVI is performing. Stocks down 2.06% for a market loss of $1.19. You see the monthly and the quarterly, not too different. It's mostly in this past month, really. A month and a half, maybe now. US dollar down 6.64% for a market loss of $5.10. This is a big hit. And I got it at 15%, so I took a big hit on that one. Dollar did a fucking reversal big time. Fell off. Bitcoin down 14.13% for a market loss of $2.77. Bitcoin's just been getting hammered week after week, month after month. And now, all-time percentages for week 35. So this is from July 21st, 2024 till today. Keep in mind that some of these ETFs have changed. It's not going to, and I've moved percentages around, so it's not going to give the most accurate reading. I'm just kind of showing these from start to finish, kind of where we're at. So gold up 26.72% for a market gain of $19.70. So gold's doing fantastic. Commodities up 16.33% for a market gain of $6.69. Again, bonds, I don't have that much data on GOVI, so this has not changed. Stocks down 3.91% for a market loss of $1.46. US dollar down 5.14% for a market loss of $2.54. And Bitcoin, its only redeeming quality, up 30.55% for a market gain of $3.28. As long as you play the long game with Bitcoin, you'll at least make something. But if you're playing the short game, you're getting decimated. We have our portfolio changes. So the beginning of when I started this portfolio, each time I made a position change, listed on here, so it's all consolidated, so you can kind of just see how the money's moved between the beginning of the portfolio till now. The most recent change I made was on March 10th, where I reduced the dollar position because it was just taking a fucking hit, and I moved it into bonds, which actually so far has been a good decision. In the past, I was early on bonds and I had to reduce down. I increased and then I had to reduce down later because I was too early in it. But now hopefully it's coming back. Basically, I had GOVT here and now I have GOVI. So this is back when I had GOVT. I switched to GOVI because it's more of an equal weight bond index, which is what I prefer for my portfolio strategy. I have no portfolio transactions this week. Now we have our Illuvium staking. So currently we have 9.44 ILV staked for a current market value of $139.77. The current ILV price is $14.81. So markets, all of crypto's taking a hit, all of it, not just ILV. Even Bitcoin coming down. I'm definitely a lot earlier into this this video game strategy than I would like to be, because a lot of the video game space is still lagging behind, which is very disappointing. But I still long-term believe crypto and video games is going to be a big thing. Fortunately, it's probably going to be a while before that plays out. We have my vesting schedule for week 35. So you have all my vests since the beginning. So back in July of 2024 was my first one, where I did $100 of ILV, and each month after that I did $40. So back in August, September, October, November, December, it's $40 each time. And you see the amount will fluctuate because the price of the coin fluctuates over that time. And then the more recent two, in January and February, actually I should say beginning of March, I had an issue with depositing it, so I waited a couple days and I figured it out, whatever. So maybe like end of March, beginning of April, I'll do the next one, something around that. I'll try to keep it consistent, but it's fine. But the price has been real low, so I got 2.3 ILV in that $140 purchase, because it's like $14 right now, so it's great getting on the cheap. But these are our vestings for week 35. And then our revenue distribution. So we have no revenue distribution this week. We haven't got one in a little while, so I hope we be getting one soon. So far we have 3 revenue distributions claimed for a total of 0.024 ILV, which equals 35 cents. And we have no Illuvium transactions. And that is it for our weekly numbers. So now, as always, we go into our charts. Start with gold. Gold. You see up and to the right, as always. We're kind of at the top end of this trend right here. Of course, gold, if you're watching the news, it hit above 3,000. People are taking more of an interest in gold now. Now that's at that big round number. Saying for a while, just look at this. Look at this chart. Going back to November of 2022, right? Over 2 years, November 2022, just up and to the right. Gold's just up and to the right, and it's breaking out of this trend. It's crazy. It's just fucking going strong. Gold. I don't know why people don't own gold. You're a fucking moron at this point if you don't fucking own gold. It's just like, if it turns now, finally, I'd be like, finally it turns. But look at this trend. This trend is undeniable. This trend only goes to October 23. I could have started it back here, but this dip right here, I want like a clean trend like this, look a little better. But even just going back to October 23, still fantastic trend. I don't know why people don't own gold. It's just a fucking worthless shiny rock, but it just keeps going up in value. All the money printing, all the government's fucking stupid policies. Even with tariffs now, everyone's just scared, they're just piling into gold. You could have had all this gold in your fucking portfolio, but no, didn't. It's alright though. I don't blame you. You're watching this to learn after all. So we have commodities. Here we are on a 5-year trend, going back to the beginning of that pandemic. Just up and to the right, just like gold, up and to the right. Great for commodities, doing fantastic. broke out of this trend. Look at this V pattern right here. This thing is not coming back down. I was like, look at this trend. Okay, hold on, let's go back. Let's go back. This trend goes back to July of 22, just up and to the right, and then it broke out right here in January of 25. This is like post inauguration or whatever, and then just broke out, went even higher, and then it spiked right here, and then it dropped down. I was like, okay, cool, it's gonna come back in this trend. I was like, but it's still, this trend's still up and to the right. Even if it came back down into the trend, it's still up and to the right. Now look at that. It fucking came right here on February 25th, and then just boom, start going back up. Dude, commodities, what is going on? Inflation, it's not going away. I think the numbers are coming down a little bit for inflation, but I mean, this commodity index is still going. I've seen commodity prices come down on some stuff, but you're not seeing it reflected in like store prices, stuff like that. You're just seeing like the raw commodity price start to come down, but like still all the stuff and all the work and all the effort to make whatever product you want that you buy on the shelf, all that's still baked into the product price, but commodities I think are coming down, but this index is still doing fucking great. I was, maybe this is the end, like even though it's like still going up right now, maybe this is the end where it's going to start coming down, and that means commodities coming down, inflation's coming down, and then I'll have to rotate out of commodities, which hopefully means bonds will be going up, because hopefully interest rates are going to go down with commodities. I showed that in my video last week. Now we have bonds, speaking of. So on the 5-year, took my arrow off. Arrow, bam. Look at that, down and to the right. Horrible. So this is just the beginning of the pandemic. Just boom, bonds been going down because rates have gone up. Again, I showed that in my video. So as of right now, since January 25th, this trend's been coming up. So I did increase my position to 15% in bonds a few weeks ago, which I show as always whenever I make a change. It was on the March 10th. I'm hoping bonds are turning around, because that means, again, rates are coming down, which would mean inflation's coming down. So I would rotate out of commodities and I'd put my money in bonds. But right now, you see this bond index, it's still fucking high and to the right. It's not coming down, right? But bonds are coming up a little bit, so I'm gonna keep it at 15% for right now. I'm just so like undecided on these three: bonds, dollar, and stocks, just because the volatility in them right now is just so crazy. I'm keeping them all at 15%, but bonds right now doing good, so we're keeping that going. 15%. US dollar, look at this tank right here. Let's look at the actual index, DXY. So came up and then came down. I'll draw some arrows on that. This is why I reduced my position. Came up and then came down. There you go. Makes sense? Boom, boom. Right? So this right here, though, from March 4th coming down, just ugly. This just came down so bad. Like, how much is that just in that little bit of period? Where's the spike right here? So it spiked up, say right here, it's right here. It's about a 3% move, 4% move down, which again, currencies don't move that fast, but still, that's a fucking sharp drop. That's a sharp drop right there. But that's the currency. UUP just follows it. Remember, the sell-off was from the dividend, because the ETF pays the dividend, so people piled in and they sold out. But yeah, now this trend's like almost coming back down to this red line already. Like, I think we lost this green trend. I don't think it's happening. But maybe something like this now. God, that's horrible. Horrible. But I don't know. Dollar, we're keeping it at 15%. We do have a little bit of a turnaround right here. This looks like it's making a U shape right here. So I don't know if we're going to come back around. The dollar index itself is at like 104 right now. I think 103. Yeah, 104. If it goes below 100, a big round number like that, everyone's going to be talking about it. Whenever it hits those big round numbers, everyone's going to be talking about it. As of right now, it's not looking good. Stocks. RSP, Like I said, this is where we've been having volatility. Look at the SPY first, real quick, or the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is out of its trend. So here we go. Let's go back to October of 2022, November of 2022, around there. Just been up and to the right. We broke out of the trend here, but it came back and it kept going. And now look at this, boom, look at this red. Look at all this red right here. All this red right here. It's come down. It broke out of its trend. Now it's starting to go sideways a little bit. So same thing with our equal weight index. We had this even worse sell-off in the equal weight index here, which really brought it down. But it came back up and then it fell down again, so we're out of the index. So you're seeing kind of like the mirror image of the S&P 500, which is not equal weight. This is equal weight. You're seeing it drop out. So stocks have not been doing good. A lot of stuff's been selling off. I know a lot of the big 10 names or the big 7 names have been coming down in price. The trend has not been looking good. Still have stocks at 15% though, because I don't think we're in a crash. We're in a maybe going towards a correction, but we'll see depending on the percentage. But as of right now, stock's not looking good, dollar not looking good. Again, like look at these things selling off. The things that went up going into Trump's election are now reversing. They're now going down. Like gold, I remember I showed this in my videos. US dollar went up, stocks went up, Bitcoin went up. Those three. Now like the reverse is happening, they're going down. Speaking of Bitcoin, look at Bitcoin. It has not done shit since it hit that 100,000. It's not done shit. We had our initial pump from the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Then we had this consolidating downtrend for several months. And then coming into the election, it popped and then it's come down. So it has not been doing much. If we look at, where are we at? There we go. We look at Bitcoin on our price chart. I keep showing this every week. Until it breaks, I figure why not. So going back to 2017, you had your peak, and it came down, and it came up. At the beginning of 21, it had a peak, then it came down, and it came back up. At the end of 21, hit a peak, and it came down for a while, then came all the way back up to this line. The end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025, it hit the peak and then came down. So this is just a long-term trend. It looks like I had a chance to break this trend, but it didn't. So I'm going to keep this trend going. As long as it doesn't seem to break, I'm going to keep it going. But right now, we just like drooped off. Bitcoin's getting a little limp in its price right there. It's come off right there. So like I said, it hit that big round number, it hit that 100,000, and then it just came down. People always get scared around big round numbers. I don't know why. Market psychology is so weird. But here we are. So Bitcoin coming down, not doing nothing special. I don't see it coming back above 100,000. I don't see why it would. Especially with stocks and everything selling off and the dollar coming down. Just inflation's going up, gold's going up. Or should say commodities and gold are going up, but Bitcoin's going down. I know people make online the excuse like Bitcoin's this alternative to other stuff and it'll go up when everything else goes down. That's bullshit. That is straight up bullshit. Things have been going down. So those are our numbers for the week. As every week, I always update you all along with the portfolio and learn. The goal is to have your portfolio overall be up and to the right. You're not going to make big money being diversified, but you're going to protect yourself long term. That's what I'm trying to do. So as always, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, or criticisms, let me know. And have a good day.